Have you ever felt that you've done everything right? The degrees, the extra effort, the strong performance, and still somehow your career feels like it's stalling and you're feeling stuck. You're showing up, you're delivering results, and yet the promotions aren't coming, the doors aren't opening, and it feels like you've hit an invisible ceiling. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. And it doesn't mean that you're not capable. It usually means that it's time to shift your strategy. Shift your strategy from doing more to leading differently. I'm Coach Lani, an attorney and executive coach who helps ambitious professionals advance to their next leadership level. I want to walk you through what to do when you hit a ceiling in your career, how to recognize it, why it happens, and the specific steps that you can take to break through. So let's start with recognizing the ceiling. A career ceiling doesn't always look dramatic. It often looks like you being everyone's go-to person, but never the decision maker. It can also look like getting consistent great job feedback, but no new opportunities or doors opening for you. Feeling exhausted by effort that no longer creates momentum. It can be that moment when competence is no longer the currency, but visibility, influence, and strategy become the new language of advancement, and that is how you level up. You've outgrown your current level of contribution, but you're still being seen in your old identity as the reliable person instead of the emerging leader that you are. So that's not failure, that's feedback. I know it can be frustrating, but it's your career's way of saying it's time to evolve your presence. So let's talk about how you can redefine your value story. When you hit a ceiling, the next step isn't to work harder. It's to reframe how others are perceiving your impact. Ask yourself, how is my value story being told in the rooms that I'm not in? Here's the shift. Stop leading with what you do and start leading with what your work makes possible for your organization. So instead of saying I manage communications for our organization, try something different. I lead initiatives that help our organization reach over 2,000 stakeholders each quarter, improving engagement and transparency. Do you see or hear the difference between those two statements? That's strategy language, the kind that leaders use, because you can be brilliant and still invisible if your value story isn't positioned for the level that you want. Your goal is to make sure that decision makers see your impact and not just your effort. So let's move now to how you can strengthen strategic relationships. The next opportunity almost never comes just from your resume. It comes from your relationships. This is where you need to move from networking to strategic connection. Ask yourself, who are the people that need to know what I bring to the table? And do they know? Who can sponsor you in the next room that you want to be in, not just mentor you from the current room? Start having career conversations that are a little bit more strategic, not just coffee chats about how things are going, but intentional dialogues about where you want to go. So you might say, I'm looking to expand my leadership scope. What priorities are coming up in your department that I could contribute to? That's how you position yourself as a solution and not as a spectator. Next, you want to shift from doing to leading. This is the internal shift that most professionals resist because it's uncomfortable. It lives in that fuzzy space for them because you've built success by being reliable, by saying yes, by getting it done. But at the next level, your next leadership level, the skill isn't about doing more, it's about leading differently. That means delegating instead of overfunctioning, speaking up with solutions and not just updates, being seen as a thought partner and not just a performer. Because the higher you go, the more your thinking and your presence matter. Leadership presence isn't about title. It's about tone, posture, and clarity. It's the energy that says, I can handle this and I can lead others through it. Next, you need to manage capacity and not just productivity. You can't lead at your best if you're running on empty. Hitting a ceiling often coincides with burnout because you're overextended at one level, but still trying to push your way into the next. The solution isn't to do more, it's to create capacity, space to think, reflect, and strategize. That's where rest becomes a leadership skill and strategic. Rest protects your judgment, your presence, and your decision making. And leaders who manage their energy level, they lead longer, better, and more sustainably. I want you to also build a breakthrough plan. Breaking through a ceiling requires intention. So I want you to start with these steps. First, you're going to audit your current role. What are you known for? What do you want to be known for next? Start to think about that and where the difference is. Reposition your value. Update your LinkedIn summary and resume to emphasize impact and not just activity. Initiate growth conversations. Talk with your supervisor or mentors about those next step goals that you have. Invest in leadership development, whether it's coaching, leadership programs, or professional associations that can help you shift your approach and move to your next level. Also, this one is my favorite because I love talking about tracking your wins. Track your wins. Keep a written record of metrics, feedback, and results because evidence builds momentum, confidence, and credibility. If you've hit a ceiling, it doesn't mean that you failed. It means you've mastered one level and it's time to build the capacity for the next. Every leader experiences this moment, the transition from competence to clarity, from execution to elevation. Breaking through your ceiling starts with one mindset shift, just one mindset shift, where you start to think, I'm not waiting for permission to grow. I'm preparing for what's next. Is that you? I hope you're preparing for what's next. That's the kind of clarity that creates movement. That's how you lead with intention, confidence, and presence. And that's exactly what my clients do inside the Level Up Leadership Lab. If you're ready to elevate your leadership and redesign your career strategy with clarity and ease, let's talk. Send me a message on Instagram or drop a comment here. Your next level is waiting and you just have to claim it. Listen, this is Coach Lani with a reminder to be kind to yourself and to be kind to others. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel where I share tips and strategies just like this. And share this video if it resonates with you and may help a friend or colleague. Like, comment, and continue to engage with my channel. Looking forward to seeing you next time. In the meantime, take care of yourself and take care of each other. Take care now.